Welcome to the Gaggle, where we talk politics in Arizona and beyond. This week, do child welfare officials need warrants? And Jeff Flake gets scorched at a town hall. But first, if you have a weak stomach, turn away, because I'm going to mention the phrase election 2018. Yvonne, say it ain't so.
It's so. We've got
boy.
18 months before the next election, and already we have a bunch of candidates lining up for statewide office. David Garcia launched his official bid to try to unseat Governor Doug Ducey.
And who's he?
He is a Democrat who ran for school superintendent a couple years ago, was beat by about 16,000 votes against Diane Douglas, had quite a bit of money coming his way, including the Chamber of Commerce. So his big focus right now is education, and he used the school voucher legislation, which was pushed by Governor Ducey, as his jumping off point. He said this could lead to the destruction or dismantling of public schools, and he could no longer run for school superintendent because it would be his job to implement it. So he put together a hastily organized press conference and announced his bid. I think that some people up in the governor's office seem to be a little concerned. They were trying to plant questions for us to ask Mr. Garcia.
Here's a question. Will he get that? Will Garcia get that chamber support again?
Doubtful, but anything can happen, right?
Good question. Right?
That's a very good question. He's going to be making the rounds statewide, starting with an event in Tucson over the weekend. And I would expect to see him start to make some sort of economic argument and try to make a correlation between Ducey's education policies and job growth.
Well, someone else is going to be running for re-election.
Right.
Jeff Flake.
Maybe nobody has a bigger target on his back than Flake. He's obviously targeted by national Democrats. And I guess he's eagerly waltzed into a town hall this week, or last week rather, and basically, it was Jeff Flake versus the Democratic base. It was about 1,800. They may dispute how many were Democrats, but it was mostly Democrats. All the questions were framed kind of with the liberal perspective, and he really took a beating as a very hostile audience, and it makes you kind of wonder if the Democrats didn't think he was weak and vulnerable, but I think they do now, just given the way that...
It's 1,800 Democrats and one chicken.
Right. Clucky the flaky chicken was kind of the breakout star.
It was an old KFC, come and get the flaky chicken, right?
Right.
The original recipe is the other kind of
Yeah,
chicken.
I think if they took an election there, Clucky would have beat Flake handily
No question, yeah, based on what I saw.
at the convention
How
center.
did he feel about that? I mean, he did it. I mean, at least he did it.
Right, and is he going to get any credit for standing up and taking that abuse? I don't know. It's just, I guess the competing theory is maybe you should just better to keep your head down and stay out of sight.
Now, Mary Jo, at the Department of Child Safety, they're looking at what could be sort of a sea change in how they approach removals when children are in danger. Talk a bit about that.
Well, it's more the legislature is looking at this, and they wanted to get a bill that would require a warrant or a court order before a caseworker could take a kid out of his or her home. And Representative John Allen said, let's run a little experiment. I'm going to run legislation. We're going to try this. And it all fell apart yesterday. Maybe it's a little too premature. Some people thought this needs a lot more thought. Others wanted it to be a tougher requirement. So they pulled back. They're going to study this over the summer, come back with a fuller blown legislation next year, and we'll see. The idea is that if you get before a judge, before you take a kid away, maybe so many kids won't be removed by the state.
So what is the agency? Are they saying thumbs up or thumbs down? I mean, I know there's probably a lot of nuance in there.
Well,
But
the agency wants to do this. They say they want to do it, and they're going to try to proceed, but I don't know how they can do it on their own. They need judges on board. You need a judge 24/7 in 15 counties, and that takes money. And DCS ain't sharing its money with them.
Well, what are we looking for this week, Yvonne?
State budget.
Well, I guess John McCain is back from his trip overseas, and he's got a week full of events planned here in Arizona.
The Mac is back. I'm just looking forward to the weekend this week. There you go.
Will the House pass the first ever texting ban bill in Arizona? This one would just be for teen drivers in the first 6 months of their license, but it's on track to get before the House. We'll see what the vote does.
All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week.